Hello, we're here making another sustainable farming video for Hallsome Farm. Today we're visiting Phil and Kaylynn's place. We've showed their homestead before. I'll put the link up here to it, and they've got some updates. Today we're going to look at a new compost bin that they've made, and we'll let them explain that, and some protection for blueberries. And anyway, just kind of do an update on what we've shown before.
Hi, just talking about some compost bins. We had built a set of 3 compost bins about this size, but they were out of just pallets that put together, and they lasted for, I don't know, seems like a decade, but they were pretty much falling apart, and we probably replaced a few things. But anyway, it was falling apart and pretty ragged, and we thought, well, let's do another one, do a little bit better. So this one we actually built a frame and lined it with chicken wire, and put here, one of the kind of the special things about it is we did use the heavy plastic pallets for the bottom, so now I can shovel that out really easily. And it just turned out the way this frame is, the frame goes all the way around the bottom, sits on the back there, but anyway, and then we just built it together. But
so when you used the pallets, did you have a pallet on the bottom, or was it just on the dirt?
Originally started with the dirt, and then I upgraded to the black plastic when I got some.
Okay.
But it was so much easier to get the compost out by having a smooth surface. We just would take the shovel and shovel it right out.
Okay.
So then we decided we were going to have 3 pallets put together, so we butted them all up together, and then we built the frame around it, and then we had this so that it could hold and support the door. And we changed our doors. Our doors used to be a pallet that had a rope, and it tied, and it was just awkward, and you had to lift the whole pallet out and move it. This way we built a door that's easily removable, and it's got
these 2 cleats on the bottom.
Cleat.
Black
Yeah.
fine. And so it just happened at this front, then I can just slide that cleat down the bottom, and then with a clip.
Instead of using ropes, we used 2 eye hooks and then this thing, and that's how we cut it.
And I get it in there. Oh well, I don't have to show that right now.
I'll put it in.
Okay, but anyway, then that holds it, and as long as you don't take all 3 apart, they seem that'll keep them straight together. And then we dressed it up a little bit with some pickets to match the picket for our starts our garden.
Yeah, you can see their garden over here. We've shown this in previous videos, but see their garden, and they've actually added some fence. You guys added some fence here to keep the critters out too, right?
Yeah. Come on in the garden for just a second. I'll show you the beginning of when he said something to protect the blueberries. We'll show you where the idea started.
He has this hook, so you can get it up. But we put the fence all around the orchard so the animals don't get in, because the raccoons were eating all of our fruit.
Yeah, somehow they think we do all this work for them, huh?
Yeah.
Yes. Anyway, this is where the idea started. I wanted something to hold up the tomato vines and other plants to keep them in, and so it's just that EMT, and with a pipe bender, bend it. You can figure out the height you want and the space you want between them, and so, and then with this way, with just the 10-foot pieces, it turned out, you know, I bend it like, get this about 3 feet, and then that's left, and then the 2 3-footers at the end, and put everything on with just those pipe clamps. Put it together in 3 joints, and then this one across the top, then run a wire, and then we can do the stringer for the tomatoes with these nice clips.
Right,
You've shown them those clips before, haven't you?
Here to here is an extra piece from the 10-foot clamp that's bent. An extra piece for as long as you want your bed to be.
So we'll show you over there the
And then
modified.
he hooked it to the wood with just a little clip. So it's sturdy.
Let's shut her
It'll
down.
last through the weather and wind. It works good.
Okay, so took one of those that I had over the garden and expanded it, put a 10-foot tube in the middle between the 2, and a little bit wider bracket here, so that got it to where it was about 7 foot tall. The 2 of them together make it about 12 by 12 because there's 1 foot on the bend, the bend radius and over to here, and then the 10-foot pipe. And I'll show you up closer. I just used these, there's 2 ways to do it. The first way I did it was I would cut a piece of rebar and that would fit inside that, and then I'd just dimple it into the 2 to hold them together. But these things, you know, they were cheap, or $2.50 for 5 of them or something like that. And they seem to be holding it together pretty good. You put that in there and clamp it. And then again, use the pipe clamp for the joints, and you can adjust the height any way you want. I mean, just by where you put that. Originally I'd had them right up here at the edge, and it made it a foot taller. My wife says, hey, how about getting a little shorter? So just moved it down. So you can adjust your height, and then the in-between by how much you put between them.
And making it out of electrical conduit, it won't go bad. You can use it every year.
It's not going to go bad. And there is, I don't know if you can see, did for the mesh, got a 7-foot by 100-foot, and it just goes 2 over this way, and then 2 at the end, and then some pieces just to hold in the bottom. But it's interesting. This is the gate to get in and out of. This is only going to be temporary for probably about another 3 weeks, and then I'll be taking this one out because the blueberries will be over. But it was interesting. Those clips that we used to hold up the tomatoes, I used some of those to put between to hold the mesh, for the opening of the mesh to close it up. That and some of these
And we
binders.
didn't want the critters to get through at the bottom, so we have about a foot overlap at the bottom, and then we put a rebar to hold it down.
Holds it down.
I think the rebar works better. It holds it real tight against the ground, and the animals can't get in.
And it's big enough the wind doesn't bother it too much?
No, these are pretty much self-supporting. Now, of course, this angle, the angle that and this bar will hold it together. I did bring one little bar across so that it wouldn't parallelogram on us and fall that way in the wind, but it didn't take much to hold that up there. That's all that is.
And he made a new swell right here, a new Burman swell. And
So you've added to your food. Looks like you added down there too.
Yeah,
these
brought
are
it
kiwi
in.
plants. He's put kiwis in 3 places. The male's down there, the females are here. The male doesn't get as big as the females do.
So kiwi, so you got this big grate up here now.
Put this
Is that what, because the
frame up
kiwi
here.
vines?
It's a vine, it'll grow up and cover that, at least according to the internet.
What's this called?
What? That's just a cattle panel up on top, 5 by 10
So that the kiwi
or
can
5
grow
by
up.
16.
Kiwi have big leaves and they're heavy, and so this cattle panel will sustain it and support it.
Some-
And then the berm goes all the way around to catch the rain that comes to the property, and then comes down in here. And then we've got our other one with the other plants, other swale up there, other plants.
That's cool. That's
So we've
nice.
got all the
Yeah,
water
that's-
that's coming on the land is going to be captured in one of our
That's
berms
the
and swales.
jujubes and pineapple guava and one mulberry up there on that berm. You can hardly see it from the wildflower weeds.
Yeah.
But we wanted the
But
wildflowers to stay because we
This
just
is
love wildflowers.
another experiment. They say these kiwi will grow here, so we're going to give it a shot. And
Well, if they don't, I wonder if this would be a good setup for grapes.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah,
it'd cover
perfect.
grapes, but anyway.
And then you water it, you tell how you water it.
Okay, and one other thing about the rainwater, I don't know, let's see, you can see in that picture, you can see the totes on the side of the greenhouse that I collect the rainwater off. That's as much to collect rainwater as it is just to keep the water from coming down the side and then rolling back into the greenhouse and making everything wet inside. So that's double purpose. It stops the wetness inside the greenhouse when it rains, and I stir that. Now, those have to be low, but so that I could use that rainwater, I just have a transfer pump. I transfer pump from that one over
Good.
into this one that I've got jacked up on 16-inch for cinder blocks, 18 inches. And then that gravity feeds with a hose. Gravity feeds with a hose, and I can water all my wicking beds, so I've got rainwater in them instead of trying
To keep the pH low, because here in Texas our water is so high.
And then we put a
So
gate
that's-
up there on our fence, we put a gate up there so we can get in and out with mulch and whatever. So the gate's up there to go into the garden.
Protect the trees in the
we
garden.
don't have to have everything go through our picket fence. We can use the gate, and then the garden and the orchard are that way. So,
Well, looks
looking
like
good.
some nice improvements.
Yeah, that's the latest improvements, whether we need to show the world or not. Anyway.
Anyway, they're growing good. We got how many ounces of blueberries today?
I picked 18 ounces today, and I picked another about 10 3 days ago. So they're
Out of
there.
6 plants. That's great.
But they, yeah, the mockingbirds were stripping them. That's why I had to put this netting up. They were just stripping them. And when I put the net up, that mockingbird, right as I walked away, the mockingbird was hitting that mesh, trying to find a way in. He was upset.
All right, well, that's our update for today. If you like what we're doing here, please share our video and like us, and subscribe to our channel if you haven't. Thanks for watching.